The Newsday continues here on One News Now. I'm Diego Castro. The Philippines and Saudi Arabia sealed some $120 million in investment pledges following the roundtable meeting between President Marcos and Saudi business leaders. The Saudi Ministry of Investment organized that meeting together with the Philippine Trade Department. There, Marcos presented investment opportunities in the Philippines. The president also took the opportunity to move forward the government's plans to generate 15,000 jobs for Filipinos, like those in the construction industry. As had been expected, Marcos Jr. also promoted the Maharlika Investment Fund.
At the forefront of these opportunities is the recently launched Maharlika Investment Fund, the Philippines' first ever sovereign investment fund designed to drive long-term economic development through increased investments in high-impact sectors. We look forward to benefiting not just from Saudi investments, but also from the Kingdom's extensive experience in managing such funds.
Saudi's Minister of Investment expressed interest in the newly established MIF, as well as other opportunities to invest in the Philippines. Saudi Arabian oil group Aramco also said it was looking to invest long-term in the country.
In the sector from Saudi Arabia, who are eager to hear more about the investment opportunities in one of ASEAN's most exciting markets and learn more about the newly launched Maharlika Investment Fund that you have launched under your administration.
We are actively in discussion with a number of partners in the Philippines for long-term supply arrangements. And if we're lucky, inshallah, we will have one day an Aramco gas station or Aramco lubricants being sold directly to consumers in the Philippines.
Meanwhile, the president is meeting with state leaders in the ASEAN Gulf Cooperation Council Summit today before flying back to Manila tonight. Included in the agenda are issues on energy and food security. The president is also expected to hold bilateral meetings on the sidelines of the event. More details are coming in on the fourth Filipino fatality in the Hamas-Israel war. The victim's family has identified her as Grace Cabrera, 44 years old, from Iloilo City. The casualty was identified through a fingerprint test. In an exclusive interview with News 5, Grace's mother and sister expressed sorrow over the loss, noting that Grace was the family's breadwinner.
I-announce na lang ho para madali lang. Kasi nandito pa kami sa probinsya, papunta pa kami doon. Pwede ba yan? Gusto ko yung madali na pauwiin. Mabait siya, tapos matulungin. Ang lahat ng, kumbaga hindi niya iniisip yung sarili niya, iniisip niya yung mga kapatid niya, yung mapaaral. Alam mo, yung pamangkin niya, no, mga anak ko, gusto niya paaralin sa nursing.
If Grace's body can be returned home, they wish for her to be sent directly to her husband, Domingo, who is in Pampanga. The Foreign Affairs Department has yet to provide information on how Grace's remains will be transported home, but they have already provided their family some financial support. The Comelec's Operation Baklas for the Barangay and Sangguniang Kabataan elections begins today. Officers from the Comelec office and Quezon City LGU started taking down unlawful campaign materials in the city earlier this Friday, or day 2 of the 10-day campaign period. The poll body reminded candidates of the standard size for posters, which is 2 by 3 feet. They added that adjacent posters without space in between are also prohibited. The confiscated illegal campaign materials will be transported to Quezon City Hall for documentation. Comelec spokesperson Rex Laudianco also told the big story that those in violation will face disqualification cases. The BSKE will be held on October 30.
Magtatanggal po ng lahat ng aming election officers ng mga illegally posted campaign materials, pati na rin po yung unlawful campaign materials. We will be filing cases against them, petitions for disqualification.
Paalala rin po sa ating mga kandidato, no? Meron naman po tayong Comelec common poster area, doon po dapat magkakabit. Dapat lang po, sumunod lang po tayo sa lituntunin ng Comelec.
We'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here on the One News. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Diego Castro. A magnitude 5.9 earthquake struck Davao de Oro earlier today. The quake's epicenter was logged some 35 kilometers south of the municipality of New Bataan at 2:58 in the morning. Since then, FIVOLCS has recorded 5 aftershocks in the same general area, ranging from magnitudes 1.5 to 3.2. Damages are also expected. The New Bataan LGU has announced the suspension of classes and work in all school levels. Photos and videos obtained by our team showed patients being evacuated from the Davao de Oro Hospital at Monte Vista following that quake. We also got updates from the CDRRMO team of the city of Mati in Davao Oriental has conducted assessment of buildings identified to have had issues or concerns from previous quakes. Jeff Tumbado, whistleblower and former executive assistant to LTFRB Chairman Teofilo Guadis, has submitted to the NBI his sworn statement on the alleged corruption in the agency. Tumbado was initially subpoenaed by the NBI on Monday but failed to show up, saying he had other things to do. On Thursday, Tumbado faced the NBI together with his new lawyer, Bernardo Masangkay Jr. Recall that Tumbado had already recanted his allegations. Masangkay says the sworn affidavit he submitted simply explains why he took it back.
Kami po ngayon ay nag-submit ng sinumpaang salaysay na naayon po sa investigasyon na ginagawa ng NBI. At yun lang po ang nangyari at may konting katanungan, clarificatory question ng NBI at nasagot naman lahat ng witness yung mga tinatanong ng NBI. Yung unang affidavit na kanyang sinubmit, nananatili yun. Etong dagdag niyang sinumpaang salaysay, para lang ipaliwanag mabuti kung bakit niya ginawa ang nasabing recantation.
Now, in the copy of that sworn affidavit obtained by the media, Tumbado admits that he and Guadis had a misunderstanding, causing him to resign as his executive secretary. Tumbado says he was enraged when he heard rumors that Guadis was claiming that he was kicked out for asking for money. Tumbado says that's when he planned to get back at Guadis, but now the two have apparently made up. Tumbado's lawyer said, though, that while Tumbado is recanting some of his statements from the press con with Manibela, he is maintaining allegations of corruption at the lower level. Citing Tumbado, Attorney Masangkay says low-level transport employees, especially those in technical operations, are accepting bribes from franchise applicants. Former Palace spokesman Harry Roque believes that politics is what led Congress to strip Vice President Sara Duterte of her confidential funds. Roque, staunch defender of VP Sara, told the big story that House lawmakers appear to be singling her out. He argues that if VP Sara had been denied confidential funds, the president should likewise be. Roque believes House Speaker Martin Romualdez signed off on the budget cut and that there is politics involved.
Well, this is all related to 2028 because they want to shoot her down as early as possible. Ang term is binibinay, except that this process started way earlier compared to Jojo Binay.
Who do you think gave the green light to deny VP Sara's funding?
The Speaker, of course. As a former member of Congress, a decision as big as this, remember, in Congress, members of the majority are not even allowed to ask questions during budget deliberation.
The lower house has since agreed to realign the CIFs of the OVP and 4 other civilian agencies to government offices dealing with national security, such as the Philippine Coast Guard. The PCG has been in the forefront of several maritime encounters with China. But for Roque, the Coast Guard does not need confidential funds to carry out its duty.
What we need are more equipment for the Coast Guard, not confidential funds. They need more boats, correct. But that's not what they're going to use the funds for. Are they? Why will you need confidential funds at sea when all you need are satellite images of who is or who are in our exclusive economic zone? Doesn't that make sense?
And those are the top stories of the hour. Join us again at 11:15 a.m. as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories. I'm Diego Castro. We are One News. All sides, all the time.